And transparency is one of those things that has really, I think you've worked hard on in the last 4 years and has really come to fruition in terms of being transparent on the platform, especially in the area of kind of managed jobs or the
Yep.
I always tell people there's two kinds of jobs on the platform. There's the self-service and the account managed jobs. One being a bit more like a traditional voice agent or helping the clients along the journey. One's completely them on their own.
Yep.
That when did you institute that service out of interest? And like, what's the kind of split of jobs between, just off the top of your head, if you happen to know those figures?
Oh no, yeah, we actually kind of obsess over this one as well too. So to answer the split is about 90-10. So it's 90% of the jobs are now self-service. This is I'm sharing a little bit of the playbook here, but it's what we call our platform first strategy, which basically is we should have a default or a bias to push as much of client activity to hire talent directly through the platform. That should be our default posture. It's only in those edge cases where the client is like, I don't have time, I don't want to do this, or I've been working with a particular account manager for years, I've built the trust with them. But usually it's in what we call these kind of more complex projects. They're not, for the most part, they're not 30-second commercials. Sometimes they're like 100 hours of corporate training material in or 10 hours in 10 different languages kind of thing. Multi-voice, multi-language. That's where we're trying to get to. So that mix has dramatically changed. At one point, it was probably like 50-50, which I think was kind of the origin where maybe talent were starting to get uncomfortable with kind of the direction. And we've definitely corrected that. I think we can get it to probably 95% of jobs are self-service, where we don't need to be involved. The intention is the old kind of, teach a man to fish, if you will. Teach that client, Mr. or Mrs. Client, how to use the platform. It's very intuitive and very straightforward at this point. And if we can, to use a software term, like onboard that client appropriately in using it, using voices, and get them through that first job, they'll realize, hey, I can do this on my own. And so that's really been the approach that we've been taking over the last couple of years. But it did come about because, this managed service, we call it professional services, internally. It came about because there were a couple of Fortune 500 companies that said, we don't have the ability, like we did some searches, we don't have the ability to use a credit card. So there was this like payment friction. We want to hire somebody, but can you get on our vendors list? And then can you send us an invoice for the person? So there's this payment issue. Another client, it was a legal issue. They're like, your terms of service aren't sufficient. You got to sign our legal documents, and kind of like you need to be quote unquote on the hook for this particular transaction, and this particular project. So those were the reasons we started, and they were complex projects at the outset. And I think what we've found is, for the most part, that's why we've bolstered up the agreements functionality on voices. It's also why we've provided other payment mechanisms. Clients can pay by all manner of credit cards or actually request an invoice. We have certain clients that are on those kind of special payment terms. And so we've addressed those two previous objections, like why and needs that the clients had, why they had to go with professional services. So we're really just left with these like big complex projects. And I think they warrant having the extra attention and hands-on. Some of the projects have been like hiring hundreds of talent on like massive projects, things that the platform on a self-serve basis is just, it's not the main reason that it's mostly small projects in and out pretty quickly. It's not the 100 hours of content or hundreds of thousands of words that need to be recorded. So that's kind of where strategically we've shifted towards platform first. And as I say, it's 90% now. I think we can get that up to 95 in the next couple of years.
Fantastic. That's. I wasn't expecting that answer, and that's actually really interesting to know that that you are pushing that. But then again, it makes perfect sense that if you've built this brilliant interface and website, which is a behemoth now. I mean, it's